Hello everyone, it is Sarah Photo, and today we are trolling through Reddit and we're going through the bullet journal slash Bujo Reddit pages to stick our noses where they don't belong. So I've come across some Reddit threads recently that are talking about like things that people are struggling with bullet journaling, and I thought, hey, maybe more than just these people are struggling with those things. So I'm going to stick my nose in their business and give some thoughts from my point of view. I've been bullet journaling with like the official method since 2015. So this is 10 years of me bullet journaling, but I have been doing planning and things like that in some way, shape, or form with the bullet journal method as we know it today since high school. So 20 years. So I think it would be really fun to kind of give my thoughts on it. So the first one is tips for setting up a journal. Hi, I've done bullet journals for a while when I was a student, but I never finished a journal. I have ADHD, and so I'll be all for starting a journal, but never finishing or forgetting to do trackers. I think I just get overwhelmed with what I want it to look like and the perfection that comes with that. What are some must-have pages and spreads for you? Also, I'm no longer a student, but I would really love to use bullet journals to set up for my reading, crochet hobby, as well as some gym/workouts and budgeting. So if you have a few page ideas for those, that would help a lot. So my first thing is don't worry about what other people do. That is my number one tip always. Don't worry about what the bullet journaling community is doing. Just worry about what you want. So you've said you want to track reading, your crochet, you want to track gym/workouts, and budgeting. So on your monthly page, track those 4 things. Maybe you add a cover page, maybe you add a calendar. If at the end of the day, you don't even need a task list, that's not the end of the world. If there is something that you want to track, a bullet journal can just be collections. So if you want to set up for January and you want to have a page that says, hey, this is what I've read this month, or this is on my TBR, or something like that. If you want to have your crochet hobby, maybe you want to have things that you would like to try, projects that are in the hopper, completed projects. Maybe you want to have just photos of those projects. So maybe a little like memory keeping thing of, hey, these are all the things I crocheted in January. And then for gym and workouts, start a workout log. So there's a lot of different ways I do this and have done it in the past. So one of the things that I do like to do is a workout log where I put the type of workout that I'm doing. I've done that a lot with like trying to figure out my strength training routines and things like that. Or you can include it on your daily. I always include it on my daily. Sometimes I break that out into a separate notebook. I have been trying to do that recently. It's not been working, so I will round back on that in another video. And then budgeting. So maybe you want to do a finance tracker. Maybe you want to do just setting your budget and then maybe your goals and then your actuals. So those are good types of spreads to do as well. So don't worry about all of the other things. And I think that's one of the things when it comes to ADHD, being overwhelmed, perfectionism, is if you're so worried about what is on everyone else's paper, it's going to be hard to focus on the things that you actually need. And then to fill that out consistently is going to get more difficult because you're going to be adding things. You're going to be doing a little bit of FOMO with your ADHD, looking at all of these other things that you were like, maybe I want to try that. So I guess my best advice is keep your eyes on your own paper, get some blinders in the bullet journaling world. Or if you are going to be looking for inspiration from sources, when you're looking for inspiration on Instagram, on whatever, laser in on that topic, right? So look up bullet journal budgeting or something to that effect, bullet journal finances, bullet journal workouts, right? Laser in on the things that are what you are looking for. Moving on, we have the next one. This topic is about struggling with your bullet journal. Has anyone else been struggling this year with making making bullet journals to keep up. I try to make one that covers a 3-month period, and the one I was working on back in August for October/November/December, I barely got to October before suddenly it was October. Has anyone else been struggling? So I guess my thought process here is there a reason you're doing 3 months at a time? I have found in my own world that yes, I have been struggling to keep up with bullet journaling. That is because of kind of a few things, most of it being a baby in the house, and I'm not used to this world. I'm a first-time mom, so it has been a struggle for me personally to figure out how to balance the two things, where I usually like to dump everything down and then keep up with it throughout the day. Really, I've been kind of doing morning and evening type of thing, trying to put everything down in the morning and then catch up in the evening for things that I have not put down yet. So it's kind of a planning and then memorializing the day rather than being able to track as I go throughout the day. Not my first choice, but I guess when I'm seeing that you're saying struggling with making bullet journals and keeping up with them because you're doing a 3-month spread, that if you were working on it back in August and then you barely got to October before it was suddenly October, then it kind of sounds like this isn't the right way of setting things up for you. So maybe we go from just a day-to-day basis, maybe it's a week-to-week basis, maybe it's a month-to-month basis, and trying to keep up with your bullet journal that way. I'm not quite sure if you mean that like space-wise, like you barely got to October and then it was October. So I guess that's my thing. I would try over the next couple months seeing if changing that type of style of setup works for you better, and maybe going on a week-to-week basis, maybe a day-to-day basis. I set up my month. Now, I didn't used to do this, but I used to set up my month 2 to 3 weeks before that month happened, because of YouTube and all the other things. Now it's really not maybe a week before, because then I know how many pages I need in my bullet journal to get to the next month. So now I really do procrastinate that a lot more. So I guess that's my 2 cents on that one. The next one is suggestions on how to use my bullet journal to track 2 home improvement projects. There's so many moving parts, and I'd love to find a way to keep track of it using bullet journal methods. Open to any suggestions. There were a lot of good suggestions in the comments, so I will just tack on a couple things that I have found really helpful. If you're doing 2 home improvement projects and they're big, lots of moving parts, lots of things going on, I would definitely have 2 different spreads for them, not one spread with 2 concepts. I would have 2 different spreads. That way it's a little bit easier to keep track. The other thing that I would probably suggest is color coding. I know this sounds like, and this is me being a visual person. Some people aren't as visual people, but for me, if there are certain things that have a lot of moving parts, maybe there are certain contractors, maybe there's certain things related to the finances, maybe there's certain timelines, I would color code based on those things. So if you have contractor 1, contractor 2, I would have 2 different colors for those contractors. If it's finances, finances is green to me, so I would always have all of that information in green or color coded with green, whether it be to the side of it or the actual font, the actual ink that you're using is green. Those are some things that I would suggest. And then try to keep, if there's a lot of moving parts with a timeline, I would maybe do this maybe Kanban like style, where you have maybe like a sticky note and you can move it from thing to thing or along a timeline instead of inking it in, because if there are a lot of moving parts, that means certain things can get delayed. So maybe having it written in ink is going to make it a lot cluttered, a lot messier, and maybe having like a sticky note that you move along could be really helpful. Or like having it on a regular piece of paper and then putting washi tape on it or something like that, and kind of do a Kanban board method, or do it like as with a timeline. So those are my couple of suggestions for a home improvement type of spread. This next one hurts my soul a little bit. Missing out on fully using bullet journaling because of fear that someone else will read it. Does anyone else have the fear that your bullet journal may be read by someone else without permission? I'm always feeling like this, and that really limits how I use it. At present, I mostly use it for work to keep my to-dos manageable. I love the idea of writing down emotions and thoughts to keep track of my life, but I feel constrained by the thought of someone else reading them. I cherish my privacy a lot. I was watching Ryder's video on future-proofing your notes, and I kept thinking that I don't feel my notebook is a fully safe place for me to express all of my thoughts, and I desperately want it to be. Any thoughts, best practices, and advice? That's what makes me sad, because I've always been a believer on, like, and I say this at work a lot, not currently, because I'm furloughed, but I used to say this at work a lot to a lot of my colleagues when they would talk about permission controlling and making sure that other people can't read it and stuff like that. And I think the first thing for me personally is, and I know it might be a little bit hard right now, but believing that that's not going to happen. I know trying to prevent things from happening, and I see it in here, because the OP provided an update. I'm sorry so many have had their private thoughts read, with a sad face, and that makes me really, really upset, right? Because it's like, I feel like personally, like, people just need to touch their own things, right? If you don't own it, do not touch it. Right? Like, that would be ridiculous that someone's like, oh, let me go through someone's private thoughts. So part of me is like, hey, believe the best in humanity and use your bullet journal. And until someone proves you otherwise, then believe in the best in people. But I know the way the world is, that is a really, really difficult step to take. So I guess in my other thought process is maybe try some different methods where you can hide things. Now, it's not going to be a foolproof system. You're still writing them down in your bullet journal. But if you do things like, and I've done things like this before too. So say you take a bullet journal and you fold it and maybe put like washi tape here. So maybe for some people it might look decorative. People that are really going to search out things, they're gonna search it out, right? But if you try to make it look like it's really decorative, like having another piece of paper over this one entirely, but it folds out, and then you can have all of your private thoughts behind this one. So if I don't really have a good piece of paper here, but if I take this and it's over it, and I put washi tape here and washi tape here, but this one I can peel and then I can fold it out, then I can have all of my private thoughts behind there. So I guess doing little tips and tricks like that might help. And again, this is going to take a little bit of trust that things won't go wrong. Privacy is really, really important. So I totally get that. So, although to be fair, I put way too much information out on the internet. So this one's tough and it makes me really sad. So I would try some things like that, and then try, right? And then at home, keep it in a locked place. If you are at work, if you are reporting to an office area or something like that, like I would hope that there is some sort of like locker system or locked drawer in your desk or something like that. Where I work, we have to have locked drawers because of the type of work that we do. Needs to be able to be kept locked away sometimes. So like they are required to provide that for us. But maybe if there's like a lockbox situation that you can bring to work, or if you can request it as an accommodation or something like that, those are some methods I would try as well. Okay, this next one is, how do you actually keep, the bullet journaling habit going long term? I've been bullet journaling on and off since 2018, but I just can't seem to stick with it consistently. I think I might have a bit of ADD, which probably doesn't help. I've tried everything, different styles, methods, stationery, times of days, logs, trackers, etc. I've gone from super artsy layouts to minimal functional spreads. I even built routines around it and used to run an Instagram dedicated to my journal. And then they go on to explain a little bit more. So I guess this kind of relates back to the first one, is if there are things that you would find useful in bullet journaling, then those are the things that you need to incorporate in your bullet journal. And if they are no longer helping you, if they are no longer things that you want to track, if you seem to be gravitating towards other spreads than not, then that is going to be an issue, right? To address. So I guess, and I have a whole nother video on this. My first thought is, okay, so what is important to you, right? Make that list. Only utilize your bullet journal for those things. And if you think you have a bit of ADD, if you think that this constant changing of styles, trying new things isn't working for you, I would probably also suggest that maybe taking some time at a certain point of the day and then say, hey, this is my bullet journaling time, and find something that works with that, right? So maybe listening to a podcast, maybe listening to music, and this is your little bit of me time in the day, right? So say, hey, 15 minutes a day, I'm going to spend on bullet journaling, and maybe you can increase it from there, but have a window of time that you are only dedicating to your bullet journal, and then find an environment that aligns with productivity in your bullet journal, if that makes sense. So if it's listening to music, but if music is distracting, then guess what? That's out of there. Don't listen to music while you're bullet journaling. If it's, you can't be in your home because there's too many things. I struggle with that, between the baby, the dogs, the cats, the cat that is right here. I struggle with that bullet journaling in my home, which is hard because my office is in my home. So sometimes it can be difficult, but trying to make the environment something that aligns with that activity is going to help you a lot more than what you are actually doing in your bullet journal. And then say, hey, this is my 20 minutes a day that I'm doing bullet journaling. And if you find, maybe you'll find a sweet spot for how long it takes you to bullet journal. And then like anything beyond that, you start to like, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Right? You start getting distracted with other things in your brain. But if you condense that amount into a short period of time, maybe it will service you better. So that is me trolling through Reddit and just giving my 2 cents on things that I have no business giving 2 cents on about. But to be fair, they are asking a community of people. I am part of that community. So hopefully these types of things, and maybe one of these posts are yours. If so, hi. If not, then maybe something like that is also on your brain, and maybe my 2 cents have helped you there. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.